Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm excited to see everybody coming in. Jim, do you want me to let your note taker in? It's fine with me. I mean, it'll be on YouTube. Perfect. Everybody's coming in. I know I'm excited that you would um, join me on a Friday. I know by the end of the week, people get busy, things happen. So this is fantastic. Let me change the view so I can see everybody. Perfect. Well, welcome, welcome. I'm sure we'll have other people coming in. I'm leaving the doorbell on just so I don't get distracted and leave people sitting in the waiting room too long. So let me know though if it gets distracting. Um, oh, I can decline that one, so no problem. And I'll put the recording right into our Facebook group, so it's no problem at all. All right. So welcome. Wonderful. Perfect. So I can see your comments now and I can let everybody in super easy. And Barb, I saw you raised your hand. Oh, no, it's okay. All right. No problem. It- It's all good. So I was really excited. Have any of you seen, well, first of all, thank you for being in the group. My name is Jeanette, and I have been in the online world for about 15 years. And I started getting into AI because every time I was coaching people and course, coaches, course creators, small business owners, they're so busy. And then they need to market on top of serving everybody. And they were really just, they knew what to do to get new clients. They just don't have enough time to do what I was asking them to do to get those clients. And so I really started looking for ways to help people get it done. And so AI has been the accessibility and the ease has just been so fun. And so I thought today this is definitely going to be an AMA, ask me anything type thing, but I wanted to take just a few minutes and show you one of the brand new features in ChatGPT. This is a pro feature. And it has been just so fun for me to be able to stay organized. Um, so it is called Canvas. And I'm noticing like on Facebook and stuff, people are thinking Canva. So I kind of put a little joke in there in my post. I don't know if you caught it, but it's not the same as Canva. What this is not really an image creator at all. It is where you can work interactively with ChatGPT. So if you've ever gotten an output and you want to go in and type and fix it or just change one word, and work interactively with ChatGPT on a document, you can now do that. And this is OpenAI's or ChatGPT's way of basically competing with Claude in their new projects, which is also a paid feature over there. And though there's a couple limitations before we like I'm going to screen share and we'll go through like an example so you can see exactly all the features and how it works. Um, but there's a couple shortcomings. For those of you on the pro version, it does not work in custom GPTs. So I have taken my custom GPTs though and taken the whole chat and moved them into Canvas just to keep it organized for myself. And I'll show you what I mean with that. So it does not work within a custom GPTs. Um, oh, I love that, Jim. So you've begun to use the Canvas to see where AI is in general. That's really interesting. You are going to have a completely different take on this, and I'm so excited that you're here. That's a lot of fun. Um, so the other thing that Canvas does is it will create docs. So you ever this is really so nice to see your face. I feel like we talk all the time. So it will take those long chats, and this is one of the big pros. If you have one of those super long chats that's not a custom GPT, you can actually go back to it and make it a Canvas document. And you're going to see why our chat, and you're going to be able to say, hey, can you create a doc about this email? Or can you create a doc with this? I don't know about Jim, your programs. Like, can you create a doc to summarize this? Can you, like, the example yesterday that kept coming up? Um, during a different training. Um, and Sorry, the school texted, and so it distracted me. I apologize. I do still have two kids in school, but they're fine. It's no big deal. But when the school comes, it's one of the few things that can come through. So what happens is it will actually go into your old ones, and you can pull that information out and ask it simply to create a doc with the information you want to keep organized. And it keeps them all organized, and then there's different formatting options. So it's just a really cool thing. I don't know about you, but I've had these really long conversations and they're so helpful. But then to find what's in it where I when I want it, it's like, ooh, I talked about this whole offer. Um, I talk about this whole offer. I've got emails promoting it. I've got sales page copy. I've got some ideas. I've got different things. And then to find it, it's like, wait, you're scrolling up and down this huge thing. Now you can just ask it to pull those pieces out, create a doc, and you can find them super easy. So, anything, any questions or anything here so that we can, before I jump into screen sharing and we just kind of jump into an example? And then we can do AMA. Okay, so I saw making notes. Yeah, Cam. Oh, perfect. You're making the notes for you there. Yes, and I do have the AI assistant turned on in my Zoom account if you've ever played with that, and it will send out at the very end. You will get a summary document from Zoom created by AI. It usually comes out about 10 minutes after the meeting. So
Great.
anybody, yeah, which is so nice.
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here. I don't mind speaking about the programming aspects if that comes up,
Mhm.
but I'm here to learn other uses for Canvas. Right?
Yeah.
And because I know I was actually talking to a client in Wisconsin last night that I know there's alternate uses for Canvas, but
Mhm.
I've been so focused my blinders on for the programming aspects that um, I don't know those alternate uses. I know they're out there, so I'm excited to hear that. So happy to share anything I know about the programming side,
Mhm.
but I'm here primarily to learn the alternate uses. So
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
perfect. Good,
Thank
'cause
you.
I don't know the programming uses. I'm going to be
That's okay.
perfectly honest. I
No
stay in
worries.
my lane. Oh, thank you, Selma. Oh, this is fun. So let me hit the share. I'm going to start with a brand new chat because it makes it easier to follow along right with it. And I have to move your faces over here so I can see you as well. There we are. Awesome. So I'm in my chat GPT and it's a regular uh 4.0 as they call it. And if you hit that drop down arrow, you'll see that if you have the pro account, you have the 4.0 with Canvas. And if you want to open your ChatGPT account and follow along with what we're going to do today, that's totally up to you. If you are a learner that would prefer to watch it all the way through first and then play with it, I get that too. So either way works for me. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to 4.0 with Canvas, and you'll see I don't yet. I know that not everyone has the talk screen right in the middle yet. Some people are still at the bottom. Does anybody here still have like the little chat screen down at the bottom like it usually will get? Or is it all in the middle for everybody? I'm so curious because it's so helpful. People like that are brand new, when it doesn't look the same, it throws people off. So I know I tend to get updates because I use it probably a lot. Um, I get updates pretty darn quick. All right, so what I'm going to do is just ask for an email sequence. We can say like this might be a welcome sequence to something or that kind of thing. Um, so the first thing I'm going to do, let's back up, is I'm going to attach my voice guide. And since we're talking about pro features today, I'm going to be talking about some of those. You can add it from your Google Drive. Sometimes this comes up as an error, but usually it works. And I can search for my voice guide in here. And for those of you with a free version, if you're following along with a free version, you just need to save it as a PDF and pull it in. It won't allow you to connect to Google Drive unless you pay for the pro version, unless they've changed that in the last week or two. I've learned not to talk in absolutes about some of this technology because it changes so quick. So I'm going to ask it, please write, let's say, 5 emails to people. We always want to be like with a goal in mind. So I'm going to say from my lead magnet, right, to my accelerator offer. And so I'm just going to leave it kind of plain. What I would do is act it. You would always want to do act as, and I don't want to do like the full tutorial, but you want it to tell it act as a copywriter that specializes in maybe online marketing. You want to tell it, I want the goal of this email sequence. So you could, oh, darn it. I feel like I should probably I want people to build confidence with their voice guide. Um, and finally, secondary call to action, um, join my accelerator, right? So if I hit enter on this, it's going to read the documents and it's going to actually, you'll see how it pops open. What it's doing is creating these emails in a document, not in the chat. So this is really helpful. I have now 5 emails in this sequence because I put in my voice guide. Um, it's put in these documents. Now, the cool part about this is that I can ask it to change these documents. So, can you put each email in its own doc? Let me see. My chat box disappeared. There we are. Cool. Well, I love when errors happen when I'm doing trainings because it happens a lot. Yesterday, goodness, I got done with the training, and the errors came in like seconds after. So let's see what we can do. It was misbehaving a lot yesterday, so I'm really kind of curious if we can get it to behave today. So here we go. I'm going to go back into my email sequence. Oops. So it went ahead and it actually did do it. And I can tell by even without clicking into everything that it put each email into its own doc. Because up here in the right-hand corner, I'm not sure if your images are over it. Can you see your upper right-hand corner? They've got like a little doc with the number 6 on it because I have 6 documents now. So if I were to be, so it's got them named a little bit funny because I would love it to say email 1, email 2, email 3. And that's something that I would love to play with. Because when I did this as practice to get ready for today, it did name them email 1, email 2. So it's kind of interesting that it did not. But what this now I can look at each one and see all of the different emails. I can now work within these to type with it and to collaborate with it. So um, in my accelerate, let's say I want the accelerator to be capital, I can edit it just like a Google Doc and it will automatically save. So have you ever been like, you don't really want to prompt it to be like, capitalize this, do this, right? You can actually just go in and change the words, but it will still have the same effect where it will follow it through to everything else it does. So you don't have to prompt it to get changed. You can prompt it though. Um, Right. So, Jim, you can actually go in. So, what Jim's comment was for, because I'm going to put the replay in the Facebook because it wouldn't link to the group. That's one of the issues with the AI. Each time it can't match always what it did minutes before. Right. So, you want to, right? So, like, we just got the error, which means it's probably not going to behave super predictable. So, we can't get it. But now you've got the documents and you can just edit them a little bit and it's going to carry through. The other really nice thing is you can tell it to edit, hey, everywhere in any document, make it like change these things, add bullets, do whatever I want to it, and it will do it. Now, you'll notice when I'm in one of the documents, I don't have access to the rest. If you ever change anything and you want to go back to it, the nice part is you can show changes. So, Jim, if it gets really unpredictable, you ask it to change something, you can actually go back into your revision history and see it and be able to select whichever one you want, right? So that's really helpful. The other thing is you can copy documents. So let's say you like it pretty much, but you'd like to play with it. I can actually copy it and then ask AI to play with it. So I have the original that I liked. This is really helpful. I did this yesterday because I did a training. I wanted to send a 1 hour reminder with the link, and I wanted to send a like just in time reminder with the link. And I just wanted to copy it and be able to tweak just a few things. And now I have it saved for the next time I do a training. I can go back to those docs and find them. So when I leave, in order to see the rest of the documents, though, you do need to X out of one document before you'll see these 6 are still here. But now, anytime I always like to rename it. So I click the 3 dots and I'll hit rename. And I'm going to maybe add an emoji so that I can find it again. And I did that by hitting my Apple key or my open windows, my window key and the period at the same time. If you have a Mac, you can hit the open Apple key and the period at the same time. But the emojis make it really like my stars are my current projects. The hearts are things I need to be able to find later. But the stars are my super current things. So I need that right now. So if you just create maybe a sticky note or one of your notes on the side and just get used to using the same emojis, it just makes it so visual as I go down. Here's one that I've been working on. Here's things that I need to be my monthly content, right? So once you dial in one of your chats with all these docs and you've got all of the things, now, the really cool part in Canvas that I think is just phenomenal is let's see if once because I'm X'd out, I can chat here. Let's go back. One, I'm skipping ahead. I had a list right here and I just almost skipped it. If I want, if I click here, this is actually like adding to this email. But if I click here, this is actually the instructions. So it took me a minute because I'm so used to typing over here to give it instructions that I found I was typing in instructions. I'm like, shoot, copy, cut, paste it over into my instruction box. So I just wanted to give you that heads up so you don't have to be like me and be like, why isn't it listening? Well, it's allowing you to edit the doc is all. That just a little thing. Now the cool part here, I'm going to close this out. Um, create a table of 20 catchy headlines for email 1. What is so cool is these tables, and Jim, I'm wondering how this might help you in particular. These tables are now editable. So if I want to be able to like, okay, so I actually had one where I was reaching out, I wanted to add to the table a column for results. So let's say I send them and I use these headlines. Oh, shoot. Okay, so add a column that is empty that I can use to track sends. Um, yeah, so now I can go in here and actually, once it's done, there we go. Let's see. Oh, yay, JJ's here. So it won't let you edit. This is one of those things that just feels irritating and you think it's misbehaving, but it's actually not. It wants to give you, hi JJ, I'm so glad you could make it. It wants to give you the full document before it will make it editable. So like until it answers you and you see it like pop up with the answer, then you can go in. So I could be like, ooh, I sent this one and I can use this to track it. So I actually had like cold outreach for people that I was taking care of, and I was able to track and everything in here, and it saves it for me as I work, which I thought for the table function, that is just fantastic. And there's so many different uses. I used it for like cold outreach, but you could use it for getting results in here. And you'll see, all of the different ways that you can do it. And you can just tell it to um, add columns, like add empty rows so I can put stuff in. You can tell it to do a lot of things. So if you have a long chat and you go into one of your chats that you've already done, you can actually then tell it, create a document for the sales page or create a document for summarizing everything I've done. Or you can even ask it, and I did this once, what important document should I create from this chat? Because sometimes you forget all the good gold that's in there. And it will actually help you identify what you should pull out and create a document for so you can find them, which I think is just phenomenal. Um, Now, once you get working on it, you'll want to do different things with this. There are formatting. So if I highlight any text in one of the documents, you'll see that I can either ask ChatGPT, let's say they use a word I don't like, I can do the directions here as well. I don't have to do, they will pop into the left-hand side, but it will actually be able to ask a question. Let's say that particular word you wouldn't use in your branding, or you don't like the way that sounds, that you can just use the ask. But then you can also bold things, you can make it italic, and you can actually even change the formatting so that you can keep it all organized. And so you do have to highlight something for those menus to show up, though. Okay. So that is really, I love that. Now, these 3 stars are what basically, sometimes those will show up because and you'll see that if you're in, yeah, if you're in like my accelerator, if I work with you one-on-one, you'll see that I put these in the directions because that's basically it's telling ChatGPT this is a header or this is important, and it works really well. And you only have to do it, unlike coding, Jim, you only have to put it in the front. You don't have to you don't need a close tag on that. I know enough to know that about close tags. I don't know much, but I started building websites far enough back that I use Dreamweaver and HTML. And so I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to really get it done. So I presume any edits are preserved even if you ask for certain changes to others later. Yes, the edits are always preserved, but then you can go back and see, as things change, you can click this and see what has happened here, which is really nice. So if you ask ChatGPT to change it and you're like, ooh, man, it's gone off the rails like yesterday, right after that meeting, it was like, I think I got 20 different emails about errors. Like I only put in the group one of them because I just showed everybody how to upload documents. I'm like, oh shoot, they're all gonna be frustrated. Like Jeanette just showed me this and it doesn't work. So when I see the bunch of errors, I always put it in the group so you can use that as a place of truth. Those were resolved. I didn't put it in the group because it was like 3 in the morning. And so we'll do that later. I'll let everybody know. The other thing is you'll see this pencil in the lower right-hand corner. This, so yesterday I did this. with one of the emails that went out to people who did not sign up for my live training. And I said, add emojis. And what it does is it will go through and add emojis like you are like the emoji king in YouTube. You ever go to the YouTube descriptions where like every sentence almost has an emoji? That's really what it does. And I used it just because I thought it was kind of fun and different. So if I hit add emojis, it's going to come in. It should. Worked yesterday. Oh, there, you have to hit it twice. I apologize. You have to hit the emoji button with the little peace sign, and then you have to hit the up arrow and look at how many emojis it adds to catch attention. Now, this works really well. Social media, it works. People don't like it. If you don't like it, don't use it. No problem. It says, I've replaced as many words as possible with emojis. You might want to say, instead, you could say, add a bit of emojis or add a limited number of emojis because, wow, that's a lot of emojis. But you can see, I could even share like the screenshot of the last email I sent out because it was a lot too, not this many. That's a bit extreme, but it's kind of fun. When you're done, you can add final polish. Now, I would use this with caution. I had to use the undo button when I did this, but what it will do is take out like the 3 stars if it put it in there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So the final polish will kind of clean up anything that looks kind of goofy and it will format everything for you. You always have to hit them twice. The first one, so see how it's formatting everything now with me. See how it's added the headlines. It's made it easier to look at. But it took out all my emojis. So you've got to kind of play with it. Like that's where I wanted you to know about the history button ahead of time because it can kind of, one day I edited a bunch and then it took it all out when I hit that final polish. So just take a look at it. But usually, if there's errors, just hit the rewind button, basically the history button. But for the most part, I found that it's really helpful for the formatting overall. This one, reading level. If you are in marketing, you never want your reading level to be above middle school. 6th grade is probably about the best. You want it easy to digest for them without talking down to them. This will take your reading level and it will take it up or down that scale. Oh, there we go. Just drag it up. So college, right now, it was set at middle school, right? So in between middle school and high school. You really want it to be around middle school to high school. You would not want it to be higher than that. Selma, you can't see them. I can't see these. The buttons that I'm doing right now, like you don't see them in the screen share. Is that what you mean? Will you unmute for me?
Yes, I can't see them. Okay, I didn't start the conversation. Like I can see, I checked. I have the message chat GPT in the middle, but nothing on the right.
Nothing on the right. So, did you start a conversation with it?
No, exactly. Should I
Yes,
ask
and that's
something?
okay.
That was my question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when you're in Chat GPT, I'm just going to start a new conversation. We can come back to this one. And you're here,
Okay.
right, Salma?
Yes, exactly.
So if we ask it just to do anything so you can see the buttons, write in
Okay.
write an email, right? Like whatever. It's probably going to say to who. Oh, sure thing. What's the purpose? To say hi to a long lost friend on Facebook. To set a meeting. I don't care. I did not need all that. I just didn't want it to stop and keep asking questions. There we go. So so now I have something. I as soon as you have something, just ask it, put that in a doc.
Okay.
Okay. And as soon as you put it in a doc, now see it's still thinking. So you'll see it's still got that, you don't get the
Okay.
buttons until it's done. And then once it's done, you'll get the pencil. You see it? Perfect.
Yes. you.
I'm so
Thank you.
glad you
Thank you.
asked because sometimes I get excited and I skip over the beginning. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. You're amazing.
Oh my God, you're so fun. So we've got all of the other. Okay, so I came back to this chat. This is good that this happened, Selma, because I skip over these little things. If I want to go back in this document, I can do it two different ways. I can go up here and find it, or I can just simply hit these little two arrows and it'll open it back up. So now I open it back up and all of these are back. Now, the nice part is, have you ever had ChatGPT write a response that's too long? For me, that's at least 3, 4, 5 times a day. It just goes too in depth. You can actually adjust the length by dragging this up and down. So I want it to be, let's say, the longest. I'm not going to do that because of time. I'm going to go to the shortest just so it's a shorter output. But now it will, remember, once you set it, you have to hit a second time on the arrow, and it's going to shorten this down for us. So because this wasn't long form, but it did shorten this email as short as it could, they'd still meet the objective. So it's going to follow the directions that you put in here first. Any directions you give it will override what you ask it to do. So it's not just going to give me one sentence, but it's going to condense and still meet the goal that I asked it to do. Is that like, so if you want to make it even shorter, you're going to have to go into the directions and override it. If that does that make sense to everybody? So this will only do within the boundaries you've set in your instructions. So, but this is a lot of fun to play with. The nice part is you hit the X and you chat with this just like you have any other chat. And I love to go back and just ask it for other documents, for summaries. I always, can you create a doc to organize the docs, right? Because they didn't tell me which one was email 1, email 2. Okay, now I'm going to be able to figure out which is which, and I've got it all organized for myself. So, and think anything that's irritating, confusing, frustrating, anything that's taking up mental space, think what could I ask it to make it easier? So now I've got an organization doc. I know, okay, if I need to fix email 2, your voice in action, I can close it out and I can hit this one and find your voice in action. And now I've got the right email. So now everything's organized for me. Creating a doc to organize the docs has been amazing to me, just super helpful. What do you guys think about Canvas? Is this what you thought it would do, or are you excited to play with it to help it keep you organized? The one thing that I think is so fun is that when you go into, like, let's say I think this is going to be a custom GPT. Yes. So this one is not a custom GPT. It's just a conversation I started. Obviously, I probably should have deleted it, but I can switch it to a Canvas after the fact. So you can go down through your chats, you find those most important ones, and you can say, now that it's a Canvas, I can ask it to put it in a doc or suggest docs that should be created from this chat. Like this one's not long enough. I could find a longer one, but that is super helpful. So who's got questions, ideas, thoughts? How are you going to use this? Are you going to use it? I guess is the first question. Will you use it, you think? Yeah. Feel free to unmute. We're a nice small group. That's why I like Zoom. I know I was like looking at webinar platforms, but I don't want to use them because I like talking to people.
You know why I will use it? Because I was always copy pasting in a doc to make sure I have them in another. So now it's automatically done by ChatGPT, which is great.
It is great. It is new, so I may move them for a minute until I get some trust. Because it is so new, but I'm hoping really soon that there's rumblings in the Facebook world because I follow a lot, I do the research for y'all. I try. Sorry, I had a y'all. I shouldn't apologize. But my y'alls will come out because my mom's from Appalachia, my grandfather's coal miner. So when I get excited, the y'alls come out. It's so fun. But it's uh in Facebook world, they're talking that there will be an export function soon. And I can't, wouldn't that be nice if it just automatically bing right into right? Like because right now you probably have realized this. If I hit this copy function, I lose all my formatting. Like there's a copy and I can copy it and then paste it, but I lose all the formatting. In order to get the formatting, I have to highlight it and copy and paste, which when they're really long, that's just irritating, but doable, really, for the amount of time we save, I- right? Like, really, problems. I started this when I had to write code from scratch in Dreamweaver, like, building a web page for not Jim, but for me, took a very, very long time. So, um, yeah, so I'm probably complaining about nothing. Honey, it's nice to see your face. Thanks for coming on camera.
Real quick, thank you for hosting this class. And I probably missed it, and I think you said it, but I do have the pro version. So now that I know that the Canvas exists, then I can toggle that on and use it. But prior to that, obviously, I do have a ton of chats. Did you say we go copy all of that, then go to Canvas and paste it in there, and
No,
then
you
ask
don't
it?
have to. You don't have to. This is the best part. So if I go way back here, months ago, I've got my content creation workshop. That might be, shoot, that's probably a bad one. Oh, yep, test. Um, but see how this one is like super long and it's in 4.0, and this is one that is a workshop I'll redo. All you have to do is hit this up down arrow right at the top. Can you see it? Because I see you're on your phone. So
Yeah, I'm trying to find that screen. Sorry.
no, go for it. Take your time.
Ah, I'll just come watch the replay. Go ahead.
But if you go down to the second one down, it says 4.0 with Canvas. This is a really important thing. I can go ahead and just, now it's a Canvas one, and I can say, what docs should be created from this chat? But she makes a really, honey, you asked a really good question. Um, I'm just going to tell it just to do number one for time. So it's going to do my presentation outline. And now I'm going to have it all, even though it's an old chat from like 2 months ago. The only time you would copy and paste it so that it can be a Canvas one is if you've used a custom GPT. So I've used a custom, like I'll take a custom one that like I keep skipping over them, basically. Um, Okay, so I just like it to be done because I've noticed I get errors. If you try to click off while it's still thinking in the canvas, I've noticed sometimes I get errors. And that's probably what caused the first error. So just waiting for it to be done is really helpful. Um, but if I take one, this is a sales page, so it's probably created with a custom GPT. Yeah. So I would actually highlight this whole thing and just move it right into a new chat and then ask it what docs should be created. And I've actually done that. And then I saved the new one, but it's got all the good information here where I've dialed in everything. So it's got all the information it needs. And I'll just pull it over into a new chat. Um, and then I use it to pull the most important information out, if that makes. Yeah, these are good questions. JJ, you jumped in kind of late. How can I help?
Hey, what's going on, Jeanette? No, I was just in the group and I saw that you were live, so I jumped on.
Oh, I'm so
Uh,
glad. It's
yeah,
always good to see you.
yeah, I got a call at 10, but I thought I'd come in and support you. And yeah, this is great. I mean, I use it some, probably not enough. and I'm just learning.
Yeah, we're all
Eh,
learning because it updates every day.
And I jumped in late. I don't even know what the Canvas aspect of that is. What is? I don't want you to repeat yourself, but I don't.
No, let's jump in real quick. It is just a way to be able to work with ChatGPT. So it creates, see how this looks like a document?
Right.
So when I Canvas just allows you to create documents and editable tables, editable docs right within ChatGPT. So when I open this, I can actually edit it
Ah, got it.
and I can type right in it and, Control Z. Control Z does not work in Canvas. Just if you do anybody use Control Z to undo? You have to actually do this. Like you have to see it, which kind of drives me crazy. Um, and then you can use undo so that it'll go back. Jim, I saw you raised your hand. What you got? Oh, I can't hear you. I see you talking. You're not muted. Let's see.
Yeah, thank you. I actually muted myself on my actual physical microphone just to make sure I wasn't coughing or speaking. So I actually tested this on mobile just now. So for the people on mobile, it acts a little differently.
Hmm.
So what you can do is at least because all I have in my canvas right now is programming. So I imagine this works for everything. So press and hold on the document part. Okay. So this is mobile. Like, honey, you could try this just to see if it matches your records. So if you press and hold on a document generated in Canvas, then you get the options of copy, select text, regenerate, bad response, and read aloud. That's on mobile. I have not tried any of that on Canvas on the desktop. So just putting that out there. And Honey's problem may have been because it obviously it can't do a side by side, right? It can't do the left and the right.
It
So
doesn't.
it does top and bottom. So just to let you know the things because obviously I would never generate code on mobile, but I have in explaining that to people. I've went through and found the differences for myself, at least in the programming sense. So just throwing that out there. Thank you.
No, that's great. That's absolutely perfect, Jim. And the other thing you want to know is you can start a Canvas conversation on the desktop. I have not found a way, and maybe you know this, is you cannot start a Canvas conversation on mobile. I can only, but you can do the 4.0 on mobile, do all the voice to text thing, do the voice conversation, and then come back to your desktop and switch it to a Canvas, which I actually do a lot because I'll go out for my hike, I'll brainstorm much better outside away from my computer, and then bring it back and have it create the documents I need at the end.
Sure. And I have a clarifying question about what you just said, just to be
Mhm.
clear, is you cannot, because that tallies with my experience as well, I believe. You cannot use mobile to start a Canvas conversation. But once you have a Canvas conversation on a desktop or a laptop, you can then you could use mobile to edit and do some changes. Is that accurate?
That is accurate up to my testing last week,
Me
right?
too.
Like,
Me too.
so you never know when the upgrades are coming out, but yes,
Mhm.
that's exactly what I found. And I think the way you said it was perfect. Yeah. We just all agree, like you'll see at the bottom of my workshops, I'm like, we agree that the technology is changing and you will be patient with me before you purchase. Like, please, like it is just changing so fast. I planned one workshop and then Canvas got added, and I'm like, well, that's just I need to play with it more before I'm going to present. I didn't want to waste their time, but it's been quite a tool that saves me a lot of time to be able to go back. And the other thing that I have found is there's so much more useful to go back to because the docs are saved that I have a Google Sheet where I put like the name of the chat, a short description for myself so I remember what's in it, and then I just put the link right from the top so I know exactly where to go back to it. And that has been a huge time saver for those of us who are like, yeah, I made this email sequence and you're going to test it for 2 months and then you want to go edit it. Goodness, can you imagine going through all your chats for 2 months later once you have enough data to go, ooh, email 3 needs to be adjusted. It's not getting any clicks on email 3, right? Or whatever, right? You don't want to have to find it later. We really want to make sure we've set ourselves up to save time, not waste time with this technology. Because boy, wasting time can come easy. That's easy. So yeah, oh, there we are. Restore. My camera was hiding it. So you can restore the versions. It pops up at the bottom when all right. So what else? Anything frustrating you with ChatGPT or feeling exciting or new? Anybody found anything cool? You guys are kind of quiet. It's kind of fun.
I think, Jeanette, my challenge is just the creativity. I mean, I think the last week I made a PowerPoint slideshow,
Mhm.
which I know is basic, but
No.
I think just saving time that way at least get you something on
Yeah.
a
Get the
slide instead of starting from scratch.
Yeah, I did that yesterday for a presentation. Well, for the presentation I did yesterday.
Yeah.
I Yeah, I think it takes so much mental strain off. Um,
And when it did it for me, it put these extra bullets in there and too many bullets. And I guess you could probably tell it, hey, don't add bullets to the slideshow. But um,
yes.
and it was typically I didn't give it a whole lot of what do they call prompting, but I probably should have said, one idea per slide because it threw like too much on a slide and there was no images, but I guess I could have said, hey, can you add an image to each slide? But I didn't do that either.
Yeah, you can tell it to do that as well. Um, I I'm looking for oh, here's the table. So what I did is I created my slides I had ChatGPT help me put it into a table.
Oh,
Because, and I said, other than like where I was showing people what's in my program, I only wanted 3 slides, 3 bullets on a slide when I'm teaching, because I don't want it to be overwhelming.
right.
Um, and a lot of them had 2, but then I took it and I put this right into Canva. Um, okay. So like here, and I can add the images, but some of that creativity stuff, I did find a tool called Gamma that will actually format it. You put in your outline and it would
Mhm.
format up to 10 pages, and that's free. If you want up to like 30, then it's paid. So I don't know. For me, 10 pages wasn't enough, but I was really impressed with how it organized the information and made it look professional and nice and good.
So you were just able to take what you got in ChatGPT and open up a Canvas slide and just paste it right in there.
Yeah, let me you guys want to see? This is my this is um my favorite. So you'll see this one says bulk. That's the full, that's got 35 slides. This one only has 1 slide. So I made like a template.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have Canva Pro,
Mm-hmm.
they have this feature called bulk import. So I can go, I'm in the wrong spot. I can go ahead and I can start with the slide and I highlight the whole thing. And I don't need the whole thing. You'll get the idea. And I copy it. And I go back into Canva. Now I can bulk import all of that information and it will actually link up. So like the title for each slide will go here, here, and here. It's called bulk create. And if you don't see it, you hit apps and look for it. You have to be in something. Well, let me just walk you through. Enter data manually, and then I clear the table. Click up here. I did that yesterday. Let's see. So strange. Yeah, so let me just grab it one more time. I probably just didn't copy and paste it correctly. Okay. Because usually it just, yesterday I had to put it into, that's right, a sheet. Okay, so let's go sheets.new. Docs.new, Barb, sheets.new. And I'm not sure why this is I didn't have to do this middle step before yesterday. Okay, so I just highlight the whole thing, copy. I'm going to go into Canva. I'm slowing it down, having all these things open and Zoom open, but it's usually very quick. Okay, bulk create, enter data, clear. And I'm wondering if it's because the table is inside of Canvas and yesterday it worked just fine. Okay, clear the table. This is just because we're live. Let's figure it out. Okay.
Sorry, I took you down a rabbit hole.
That's all right. Well, it worked yesterday, but that's where we just had to, like we said earlier, we're just going to be agreeable with each other and understanding that it changed on me since yesterday. That's all right. We already had that conversation. It's actually, but you're right. It's the mental strain. Now I can go into these slides, and I've got to be honest with you, I did not put a lot of effort into these slides because there it goes. See, now why did it not work the first time and now it works? I don't know, but thank you for being patient with me. This is really cool, JJ, because what happens is, see right here, you usually have to, like I had already done this yesterday, but you just highlight wherever you want the slide title. I highlight it and I hit the three dots and I hit connect. And I tell it which one I want it to connect to. So this is bullet one. And then I just hit the three dots and I connect them all. This is the only slide, but when I hit continue, now it will open up in a new thing. So my template stays clean. And now I have 21 slides ready for pictures to be put into them or whatever, however I want them to do that. Yeah, so if you download it as a CSV and upload it as a CSV, it's probably faster now that I couldn't copy and paste right out of ChatGPT. So this one didn't have any bullets, so I do have to go through because it's my title slide. So I just added my, presented by Jeanette, and I put my little image here. But now I've got all my slides all set up and I'm ready and I can format them. And that
Pretty
kind of,
sweet.
yeah. So your PowerPoint might be better as far as the formatting because I don't have the Copilot in my PowerPoint. I'm curious if you can tell it to add images, it would probably be worth it. That's
All right.
cool.
Thank you, Jeanette. I got to run.
Oh yeah, it's already
Yep.
5 to 11.
Yep. Thank you all.
Thank you, Barb. Yeah, so if I do have an accelerator starting next week on Tuesday. It'll be with a small group, and I'm really excited. We're going to work. This is my beta offer, and so I'd love to share with you just real quick so everybody knows what's going on. Is I'm doing a small group where we walk through for small business owners one new custom GPT that follows all the best practices for the prompts to grab your voice. And each week we do a workshop style where I help you set up one piece of your business, like newsletters, a strategy bot. That one's the most important one. We always do that one first. For your lead magnets, emails, social media, content repurposing. We make sure everything is running really smoothly. So we do that every Tuesday, every Thursday or Friday, depending on how big what works for everyone's schedule. We'll do a Q&A so that you can test it and we can dial it in really good to your voice. And then after the first 8 weeks, we use those things and we perfect them, and we'll still have the Q&A calls, but we won't do new workshops. And then we'll start a new round of workshops with the new people who might join in January. And you'll be able to join those and build even more things for your business. For the beta, you get lifetime access to that. And so it's really cool. Like, we're going to do like Accelerator for 8 weeks and then dial it in, because you can't stay in that build phase. So we're going to build and then test and Q&A, and then we'll build and then we'll test and Q&A. And that will be like the feel of that Accelerator. And so that's going to start Tuesday. And if you're interested or would like to book a call, I didn't go into a ton of detail, but if you want to ask any questions, I'm really excited about that. So honey and so much fun. Okay, I kind of lost my spot going into the Canvas stuff. Let me open up my other screen here. So what it is I do have like it'll start Tuesday, quick acting bonus. You sign up. Oh, sorry, this is just my ChatGPT stuff. You sign up, we're going to get you started. If you sign up in the next 48 hours, so I can get planned for Tuesday, kind of motivation. We're going to do a 90-minute call. Make sure your voice guide and your brand and voice guide are really dialed in really well. We'll do a 90-minute one-on-one with everybody. And then we're going to start on Tuesday with that strategy bot and get that really dialed in. And so, yeah, I'm just super excited about it. We've got a great group of motivated people that are jumping in. And so I feel so blessed that that's going to be my beta group, because I am just really, really thrilled about it. So we're going to start Tuesday. Barb, you're so sweet. Um, so yes, you do get lifetime access with this. It is $700 for lifetime access, and I'm going to work with you really, really closely to make sure it's dialed in for your business. So like Barb and I jumped on, and the places that are really fun, like you can tell I just get excited. I'm really excited. If you've purchased programs in the past and you're like, I'm trying to do what they're asking me to do, I will help you set up the custom GPT to do that. So like, Barb, do you mind me using you as an example, Barb? So we're in a great program called NGM, which is all about messaging. So creating those social media posts, those can sometimes, it's like, it's taxing. We're learning something new. So we worked together, set up a custom GPT. That was really fun. And now we can spit out this content and test it so much faster, and get it done. And so if you have I don't give away. His name is Brandon Lucero. He's great. I highly recommend. But also, I don't give away other people's content. But if you've purchased courses or have those lead magnets or have these things you're trying to do, we're going to work really closely together to make sure you can do that faster over these first 8 weeks. And then we'll go through and start testing and making sure the voices come in. Oh, perfect. Yes. Honey, that would be something, because you're in it, that I just build them, and we would just go through and look at the instructions and customize it all for you and make sure it's all dialed in. So yeah, that would be great. And a lot of people are in different like little groups. I've done GPTs for Shane and Jocelyn Sams. If you know me through Flip Lifestyle, if you know me through Evelyn Weiss, I do a lot of her GPTs. I'm her licensed GPT creator. So word is spreading, and I'm just starting to create them for a lot of these creators. So it's been a lot of fun. So if you want to join, wonderful. I'd love it. If you would like to book a call and go, is this a good fit for me, and talk about it, I should probably put that one in as well. It's just book dash a, nothing created. I like to keep them simple so I can find them later when I need them. But if you wanted to book a call and set up, when we get done with this, I'm just going to set up a couple openings this afternoon. For those of you in Brandon's world, I am attending today's workshop, but other than that, I'm free this afternoon. So that'll be I'm excited, but I'm just thrilled to be able to get people what I see is that people have great problems they're solving, and they are doing really cool things, and people just don't know about it because you can't get done what you know you need to get done. And I want to make that easier for you. And that's the goal of this next 8 weeks. So that's the purpose behind why I create this stuff. I'm excited. Oh, yeah. Oh, I put the book a call thing only to Honey. Sorry. Yeah, his call, it's on my calendar, so let me look real quick. Um, where is my calendar is kind of a mess. Oh, good. It didn't pop up where you guys have to see it all. 1 o'clock Eastern time, Honey. So for me right now, it's 11, so it's in 2 hours for anybody in his group. So that'll be a lot of fun. This is wonderful. Anybody, I'm free if you want to stay and ask questions, but I'm also super respectful that this is your business owners and your time is super precious. So it's 11. Is there any ways I can help you though? Thank you, Salma. Jim, I keep thinking you're going like this because of the way the camera's
Yeah.
picking up your sleeve, I think it is. And I keep,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
yeah,
Jim.
the green screen's acting a little funky today.
Yeah, I
So,
know. Yeah.
so what I think for me, rather than take your time to book a call, but what I think for me would be helpful would be to think, because I'm new to you. So
Mhm.
how can I learn more about you? Because my gut tells me that I'm not ready for the accelerator yet. I need to build the tools. I want to prepare, right? So I've always been very
Ooh.
fortunate in the business that I've landed. Uh, if you looked at what I do in marketing wise, it's like, how in the world has he ever made it? That I did. So I'm trying to grow that direction. I actually have clients that are also doing that as well. So we're kind of working together about that. But what would be, without booking a call, what would be your perception about how could I start, like, what products could I purchase that would start me from scratch about building, email lists, landing pages of that nature? Just
Hmm.
curious.
Yeah. So as far as building those tools, I've been doing it for 15 years.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. For me, I've really been focused mostly on building the custom GPTs to really save you time.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you.
Um, but I did a workshop yesterday that I think you would find really helpful because we talked a lot about, you know, how I use ChatGPT, how
Mhm.
I get it to really make sure that it's going to market you specifically really, really
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Um, and I um, and I can send you the email with the replay because it actually has a few other resources. One of them is
Okay.
to create a voice guide. I talked about that a
Okay.
lot yesterday. Um,
Okay.
that if you, especially as a programmer, I don't know, my history is I'm a former math teacher. So I
Mhm.
get like those people who want to communicate super logically and
Mhm.
super succinctly,
Mhm.
but that's not always good marketing. And so that was my
Sure.
weak point. And that's why I
Gotcha.
love ChatGPT because it took
Gotcha.
all my logical, analytical
Yeah.
stuff and allowed me to go, but I want them to feel encouraged. And it took
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
matter of fact and
Mhm.
helped me do what I wanted to do. So I think that workshop you might find really helpful, especially if you have clients
Okay.
in that area as well.
Okay.
Um,
And does that have an offer attached to it as well?
it has the same offer I spoke to today.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I do sell custom GPTs one off. I'm just
Okay.
starting to put those into the store.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I had a VA kind of flake on me, so they're a
Yeah.
little slow
Mm,
coming,
mm.
but that's
Sure.
okay. That happens. I mean,
Sure.
they had weather, they had things happen,
Mm,
and so that's okay. I get it. But it's just been slow because it just takes time. It's
mhm.
time or money, right?
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Sure. Thank
but yeah, it's let me send that. Jim, do I have your email address?
I don't mind putting it in the chat if you like.
Yeah, that'd
Let me
be
just do
great
that.
if you don't
Just to
mind.
be convenient.
In a sticky
Because
here.
I noticed I've got my second screen going off every time I look back at my face was sideways. I'm typing in chat. So we do that. Be right back to you.
Yeah. And then, honey, I just noted, I just saw your comment too. I certainly will. Are you, um, perfect? Yes. And I'm just putting it, I'll do that right after so you can take a look at that. Yeah, I noticed like you were the first one in the Zoom room and I was like, oh, I haven't met Jim before. I always love that because
Yeah.
it's new people.
Yeah.
Honey and I have talked on like Facebook and Barb and I've talked quite a bit. And so it's there's good and there's good to both, but it's always
Yeah.
fun seeing a new face as
Love it.
well.
Love it.
It's
Love it.
I'm trying to think if what we're going to do is go through and talk about how to service your email, like set up those welcome emails and get those written down really well so that when you want it to connect your lead magnet or how they come to you to what that first offer is.
Gotcha.
And draw a really tight line between serving them and also allowing them to trust you that you can do what you say you can do and help them trust themselves that they can actually do what you help them with and then give them that offer. And so that's one of the pieces that is usually lacking in most businesses that I found when you do that really well, it really changes the effectiveness of your email. So that's one of the GPTs that, because you're not going to just test one lead magnet. I don't know if you've been told this before or not, but like that thing you give them to get their email list, if you're just starting, even the best entrepreneurs will make a guess and 1 out of 4 will work, right? So you're not going to make one. So we create the custom GPT so that you can test 3, 4, 5 of them and find the one that works. Like I just tested, I hit a gold mine on number 4. Mine is my voice guide. I will send that to you with the replay because you'll just be on my, but there's things like that that we're going to make it really easy to implement this. Like setting up the tech of your email list is one thing, but then actually getting it to be profitable is the second. And that's where I help more with. Does that help answer the question to see if you're in the spot yet? Okay, awesome. Any other questions? This is fun. I'm going to do more of these in the group, I think. This has been just good. And these new features are just going to keep popping up. I should stop sharing so those of you on smaller screens can actually see the people talking. There we go. Great. Well, thank you so much. And if you're interested, you want to learn more, you can always reach out to me. Drop me an email at Jeanette@JeanetteStein.com or message me on Facebook or whatever is easy. Thank you all. This has been fun. Appreciate your time. Thanks. Bye.